Thanks to the Poppy Playtime Orientation Notebook, we were introduced to a brand new character with the initials PW. This could even be who we play as in the games, but right now it's a mystery as to who this person is. However, there are a few things inside of this book that might give us some hints. So who is PW? What did they do as an employee? And is this who we play as in Poppy Playtime? Now, this orientation notebook was previously owned by PW, an old Playtime Co employee. Throughout the book, they left notes inside that give us more information about the truth behind this company and the lies they were spreading. Also, adding never before seen incident and progress reports. It helps expose Playtime Co for what they truly are. At the very beginning of this book, we get a note that explains who PW was to the company and a little about their backstory. It mentions how they still don't understand why Playtime Co hired them, a biologist, to do research and development at a toy factory. They said PW had exactly the skills Playtime Co wanted, but they were vague about what exactly they wanted their skills for. Now, why would a toy factory want a biologist to do research and development for them? Well, obviously to participate in the Bigger Bodies initiative. Now, PW doesn't actually say they were directly involved in any of it. I mean, why would they? It's not like you would want people knowing that you were involved in experimenting on innocent children. They portray themselves as kind of an innocent bystander to the whole situation, at least throughout the notes. But we do eventually learn that they were involved in an interesting way. There is a note about the Poppy doll, and it talks about how her human-like nature is a closely guarded secret as to how it's possible. Also mentioning PW did in fact sign multiple NDAs, so this could be why they're not directly talking about any of it. Even after the company's closure, I'm sure the NDA is still active, considering we don't actually know the fate of the higher-ups yet. It's thought that most of them are dead, but we have not received any confirmation. The note also says PW asked someone about the Poppy doll, and she told them it's simpler than you'd expect. This implies PW doesn't actually know how it works. But I want to clarify that this is talking about the Poppy doll. It's not talking about the Bigger Bodies. I felt it was important to clarify this, as the Poppy doll is kind of a gray area because of when she was created and when the Bigger Bodies initiative started. So there's definitely a lot more about Poppy that I'm sure we will learn about in the future. Continuing on, there's another note that says, "We created bigger body versions of the smiling critters." This suggests that PW was in fact involved with the Bigger Bodies initiative. Another note about the Miss Delight teachers also says, "We use this as a model." PW uses "we" rather than "they." This is hinting that PW was connected to the Bigger Bodies initiative. Now, PW could be using the word "we" as a reference to Playtime Co as a whole rather than themselves. However, I don't think that's the case, because throughout this book, PW also put a bunch of incident and progress reports inside, like one about Bobby Bearhug that shows us the sad truth behind just how painful and disturbing some of the experiments were. But there is one in particular that is different from the rest. One that you might have noticed talks about the employees more than the others. It's the incident report for catnap, and it was written by PW. It also shows they were a part of the science department. The report tells us about what happened to Catnap after he became a bigger body, how he ended up taking the lives of 6 employees because of their negligence, and at the very end it's even signed by PW. Therefore, this specific incident report was likely from PW's perspective. They wrote it. Now, you'll also notice that the second page is different from the other incident reports. It heavily implies that steps need to be taken to better protect the employees. It stresses how they are people, not just things. They were their friends, their teammates. It even lists the names from all of the people that lost their lives. That's what makes this report different. The other reports just talk about the incident, whereas this one talks about the lives lost. This shows how PW actually cared about the employees, or in their words, their friends, making it a point to remember who those people were, to remind the higher-ups that safety is important. At the end of the report, PW even says, "I'd be happy to sit with upper management and detail my ideas for safety improvements to better avoid these situations in the future. I won't see another teammate die." PW was clearly one of the only employees that actually cared about the lives of the other people working there. This is important, and we will come back to it. So because of the notes and the incident reports, it's clear PW was part of the Bigger Bodies initiative. They were likely in a management position for the science department. This would make sense considering they were writing incident reports, something management often does. PW probably did research and development with the poppy flower in order to use use it for the Bigger Bodies initiative. They would study the flower and perform smaller tests with it. After a Bigger Bodies experiment was performed by a doctor, PW would likely observe how the bigger bodies acted, to take notes and further their research. Hence why PW was around Catnap after he turned into a bigger body, which led to them writing the report. As far as what the initials stand for, I'm not too sure. There is no other employees or characters in the franchise with these initials, so I think that that's something we will learn later on in the story. But is PW who we play as? Well, at the very end of this notebook, there is an employee calendar with a bunch of dates with events, like a Christmas party, meeting with new interns, or responding to a lawsuit while being told to deny everything. Very average stuff for a Playtime Co employee. However, there is a note on June 28th saying it's our birthday. In other words, PW's birthday. This might seem innocent at first, but this is not the first time we have heard of this date before. Back in chapter 2, when we hit the button on Bunzo Bunny's cutout, he says he knows what our birthday is and tells us June 28th, then goes on to sing happy birthday. But it's important to understand what Bunzo Bunny's character is known for. He loves to celebrate birthdays. His toy was equipped with the ability to remember up to 8 birthdays and deliver greetings on the day itself. So this could mean a few different things. June 28th could have been the day we went back to the factory. That's when chapter 2 might have taken place. So because it was June 28th, Bunzo was programmed to say happy birthday to anyone that hit that button. This birthday was one of the 8 birthdays this Bunzo cutout remembered, which happened to be PW's. So this could just be an Easter egg. Or it could mean that we are actually playing as PW, and this cutout remembers who we are. Considering that PW used to work here, it's possible that Bunzo remembered their birthday because they were likely someone of importance. Like I said, PW worked in the science department. You might even be able to consider them a higher up. I know these are just cardboard cutouts, but this would imply that these are in fact talking directly to us, the player. Considering what all of the other cutouts say to us throughout each chapter, I think it's safe to say that they might have a mind of their own. I wouldn't be surprised if the cutouts were more than just cardboard. There is one more thing that I want to point out that could further suggest that we are playing as PW. The reason we, the player, came back to the factory was because of guilt. The letter we received was a cry for help, and we felt guilty. So we came back to try and set things straight, to free our conscience of guilt. Where else have we seen this kind of remorse? The incident report from PW. The whole second page is about remembering the lives of the other employees, how Playtime Co needs to better their safety protocols. PW even states that they won't see another teammate die. The remorse felt by PW in this report could be the same remorse that brought us back to the factory. So to answer the question of who this person is, PW likely worked in a management position in the science department. Considering this, they probably wrote many incident reports on all of the other bigger body experiments that we just haven't seen yet. They would do research and development on the poppy flower to see how it could help with transferring consciousness into a different container, along with parts of the human body. Studying humans and plants is something biologists do. With that being said, do I think PW is who we play as? Probably not. I mean, I'm not sure. I think the birthday and Bunzo Bunny cutout is more of an Easter egg rather than a clue as to who we are. I mean, this book is full of Easter eggs, but who knows, I could be completely wrong, and maybe PW is who we play as, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So what do you guys think? Is PW who we play as? Like I said, I don't personally think so, but I felt I did bring up some good evidence that could support it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like horror game content like this, please consider subscribing. Also, if you want to support the channel more, you can become a member. Don't forget to follow my Twitter at TerrifiedT. Thanks for watching.